everyone, and welcome to the Theater of Football. I'm Mike Hodem, and I'm joined by Patrick Heinrich. Hello, Patrick.
Hello, Mike. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Excited to be here again.
Great to have you back. So we're looking at tomorrow's League Cup tie for United, playing Brighton yet again. Patrick, there are so many talking points coming out of the match with them at the weekend. What are some of your expectations for tomorrow?
Well, quite frankly, some of my expectations are that we, first of all, that we win. Second of all, that we play good football. I don't feel like those two expectations are that high, but those are my expectations.
I think that's fair enough. Given that the first team got out there, or I guess what you could say is our first team played on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you expect maybe our second team, maybe a similar lineup to what we saw against Luton last week tomorrow?
I don't think so.
No?
No, I think, generally speaking, the times that I've tried to do or call what I think is reasonably logically going to happen has never turned out. So I'm going to go against my intuition and say that Ole is going to play the same team that he played against Brighton.
Really, no changes.
No changes, because for some reason he loves Lindelof and won't start Bailly. So I know that I'm not going to go that way and say, oh, I'd love to see Bailly out there. I would love to see him start, but we'll see Lindelof out there again for sure. But I think, and even like, I definitely don't think that Aaron Wan-Bissaka was so great at all in the Brighton game. And I'm expecting to see him out there again. But that one, not so much. My thought is not so much because he had a poor performance, but because we don't really have anybody else to put out there instead.
Well, Fosu-Mensah played there against Luton.
Yeah,
I made a fool of myself, to your point, about predicting the lineup. I thought for sure after the Luton match, and given the extra day of rest, that Bailly would surely start against Brighton on Saturday. And I was wrong, but I'm going to say he'll probably start tomorrow against Brighton.
all right.
I don't see the same team as Luton, but I think Henderson will return in goal for that one.
Oh, okay.
I think Bailly will return in defense. And I think Maguire played against Luton, so he'll probably play again. But I think I'm leaning towards Fosu-Mensah starting instead of Wan-Bissaka. But that I wouldn't be. I don't know. You could choose. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Given Wan-Bissaka did not play well at the weekend. He didn't look fit, and Pogba didn't look fit again. So I think he's another one that'll make way. I'll be disappointed. I really want to see. And I don't know if this is the game for it, but I want to see Van de Beek and Fernandez start together.
Oh, yeah. That would be nice.
We've seen them play together at the end of matches, but that's usually when, we're either chasing the game or we're trying to see a result out. I want to see them from the start and see how they play. So I would like to see the two of them play with maybe Fred sitting kind of in the Modric role. I wouldn't think Modric starts, but again, you never know, like you said. So I don't even know what forwards he's going to select.
Yeah, I was going to say, you'll think we'll see Lingard and Mata?
We could very well see those two. I also wouldn't be surprised if he went with Mason, Marcus, and Tony. So
I just think that Brighton is really going to be gunning for us. The match that we had, and they can bemoan the fact all they want that they were robbed of a victory, and that their handball happened after time was up, but the whistle, you got to play to the whistle. So I think they're going to come out hard, and they're going to come out with a vengeance, and I think that that's why it's so important that we need to put up a good side, and that we also make a good show of it and play good football, because I think it's to me, it's almost kind of a redeeming. I would actually really like to see the same team play a second game, kind of like a do-over.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that Graham Potter would make a lot of changes for Brighton, but I think with the way that match ended, he'll probably make fewer. To your point, because they'll be upset, and I think that the players were upset that they didn't get their point in the end. They hit the woodwork 5 times, whatever. They outplayed us. I'll give them that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like even without all the rule changes with handball, if there's a video assistant in play,
Yeah.
and the referee on the pitch didn't give it, it was like I think you'd go back a decade and a half ago, and if there was video assistant referee, it would have been given as a handball,
Right.
as a handball, as a penalty,
Right.
because he's just so stupid. He's watching the ball, then he just decides to look at Maguire, then he's gonna hold his arm out like in front of Maguire's head. It's just such a stupid play, and the player knew that once it went once
Yeah.
the referee went over to the touchline camera, they showed his face, and he was just like, "Oh, what did I do?" But like the rest of the players were in the referee's face, and it's like he didn't blow for full time yet. He blew for full time immediately after Brighton cleared from the box, but VAR can still go back and look at it. And the referee, I think, made it pretty clear to everyone on the pitch and off the pitch, hey, stay where you're at. VAR's looking at this.
Yep.
So I think he handled it pretty well.
Yeah.
I think Brighton will name a stronger team than he might have otherwise. He may have rotated more. It's going to be a good test for us. Hopefully we play some good football and we can move through to the quarterfinals.
Amen.
One team that moved to the quarterfinals today was Spurs. They beat Chelsea on penalties after a late equalizer for them. They have an interesting week, Patrick. They played Newcastle on Sunday.
Yep.
They had Monday off. They played Chelsea today. They have Wednesday off. They play a friend of the channel's favorite team, Elon Renai. His favorite team is Maccabi Haifa, and a Europa League playoff matchup on Thursday.
Yep.
Friday they have off. Saturday they have off, so they're being spoiled. They get whole days where they get to play us on Sunday. Patrick, what do you expect to see out of Spurs? What do you think the match will be like?
Well, I hope that, and I know Mourinho played a strong side against Chelsea, so I'm anxious to see, and I know we were talking a little bit before about what he puts up in the match tomorrow. So I'm anxious to see kind of what that side looks like. But, I mean, either way, I would expect a slightly gassed side from the Spurs. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, the next two matches, what side he puts up. But I'm hopeful, I guess, not to, wish that we get an easy win, but I'm hopeful that we get an easy win.
It'll be interesting to see what team he puts out there on Thursday. He did give Harry Kane a rest, but from the start, but he came off the bench. I think he made a big difference in just the way momentum was going and getting that game turned around. So I don't know if Kane will play again on Thursday, or if Mourinho will just go full week inside, thinking that he can get through against their Israeli opposition. And our friend of the channel, Elon, will say that will be a very dangerous thing to do, to underestimate his team. So the one good thing they have is that those matches Sunday, today, Tuesday, and Thursday are all at their home stadium, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, so New White Hart Lane. So they don't have to travel at least until Sunday for our match.
That makes a big difference.
Patrick, what I'm looking forward to now, I think the match just in terms of on the pitch, the football played on Sunday will be garbage. Straight garbage. But I am so eager for that matchup on Sunday because of the recent war of words, or just tit for tat going back and forth between Ole and Mourinho.
Manager sassiness.
Yes, manager sassiness. Now, it started on Saturday when Ole felt like he got away with one, as he put it, or that we might have got away with one. And he made a joke about Brighton hitting the crossbar so many times, and how Mourinho might have been out there with his measuring tape to see if the crossbar was at the right height. Background on that: Spurs last week played in Macedonia in the Europa League, and he went out there and measured the goalposts because they looked too short, or the crossbar looked too short. I guess it was 5 centimeters too low. But I think Ole was just making a funny comment. But whenever you bring Mourinho's name into anything, he doesn't like it. Of course, the reporter interviewing him before his match the next day asked him about it, and he said that I don't think Ole is concerned about the crossbar. He's more concerned about the 18-yard box. If it was 17 yards, that would be no good for him. He would probably prefer it to be 22-yard box. It's funny.
Yeah.
And then today, Ole took a little, I don't know, he jabbed the needle at Spurs a little bit when I think he was asked how important is it to win this competition, and he said it's important, but it's not just winning it; it's how you win it. And then he goes on to say that there's teams that haven't even played a match yet. In reference to Spurs, is I guess walkover over Leyton Orient on last week due to Leyton Orient having 18 or 20 players test positive for COVID-19. So Spurs have now played in the competition. So welcome to the competition, Spurs, and they won, so they get to stay in it, the quarterfinals. But are you looking forward to seeing what might happen before, during, or after this match between the managers, Patrick?
Absolutely. Also, one question that I have that I love to imagine, like, why does Mourinho have a tape measure? Like, besides the obvious that he probably grabbed it out of some, utility locker somewhere in the stadium, but I like to think about, like, what is he measuring? Is he measuring his players? Like I got to make sure that everyone's, the right height, measuring their shoes, measuring the ball. Like, I just see him, like, with this little tape measure, like, measuring everything.
Yeah, I don't know where he got the tape measure. I mean, he must keep it on his belt at all times.
That raises more questions.
Do you think he'll be out there when Spurs are warming up, 35 minutes before the match? He's going to be out there on the 18-yard box, measuring each line, making sure that it's the correct dimensions. You see that happening?
Yeah, I'd like to see. I would love to see him out there with a tape measure, and then Ole out there with a tape measure measuring the 18-yard box. That's what I'd love to see.
Yes, they both. Then they can compare notes and
right.
make sure they're correct. Yeah, I think it'd be funny if he's out there measuring and Ole goes out there and just says, "Hey, man, what you doing?"
Yeah.
Maybe holds down one end for him. Here, let me hold that there for you, to make sure everything's good. But no, I mean, Ole isn't necessarily a fiery character, but we know Mourinho can be. So and Ole can sometimes say things that people misinterpret, for lack of a better phrase. But so yeah, I think you could see some fireworks, especially during the match if VAR has to get involved at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
We know how much Mourinho hates VAR.
I know. I was just gonna say, heaven forbid VAR gets involved in that game.
That's probably why Spurs won today, because VAR wasn't in effect for the League Cup, at least not yet in the competition. So Mourinho will probably say, well, we can actually win a match when we're just playing the opposition and not playing the opposition in VAR.
Yeah, exactly.
All righty, Patrick. Well, thank you for joining me. The curtain is now closing on the theater of football. For Patrick, I'm Mike. As always, get at us on Twitter at Theater of Football, and enjoy the League Cup round of 16 match between Brighton and United, and enjoy the football this upcoming weekend in the league.
It'll be fun. Cheers, everyone.
Bye. Oh, hello. Thank you for watching the Theater of Football. If you think Mike got it wrong yet again, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below.